Washoe County corruption. Official oath, Mary M. Canderas. This is regarding a Foia about judicial benefits to Judge David A. Hardy. Jonathan Belfort's requesting this. I served it for him. I served these emails and mailed it out today, 3/24/25, certified mailing. And so we'll talk about what this is about. Notice to agents of notice of principal, insurance carriers. Notice of principals and notice to agent insurance carriers. To Washoe County Comptroller, clerk or deputy clerk, records clerk, fiduciary agent, custodians of records, successors, agent, witnesses, duties, deponents. I am requesting access to the records in possession or control of Washoe County Comptroller or correct department concerning Second Judicial District Court judges David A. Hardy, attorneys, for the purpose disclosures, due process, court evidence, and by the copying pursuant to the Nevada Open Records Act, Section 239 et sec, and or the Freedom of Information Act. Request is to obtain all documents showing all payments from Washoe County or its affiliates, agents, commonly known as 1. Local judicial benefits, separately and individually to Second Judicial District Court Judge David A. Hardy, from the commencement of such benefit payments beginning 2023 through present 3/25/2025. 2. A yearly summary of Mega Flex cafeteria plan or equivalent benefits, 401k, 457, and or other retirement contribution, professional development allowances, etc. 3. Any other Washoe County or its affiliates agents compensations for each year that the local judicial benefits were paid for the commissioner, judge, in this case judge, justice, administrator, or clerk. This matter is concerning Second Judicial District Court officers, case number CV 2500680, which is a case that's a judicial review where this judge presides over. Okay, he's listed on there. And specifically, the petition for judicial review hijacked appeal, exhibits 1 through 33, deposition challenges, criminal claims evidences, FOIA requests. Also, C, deposition facts verified and mandatory judicially noticed evidence in support of the facts and claims breakdown on checks. Reference case numbers. This is Belfort's, and one's a small claims case. Both of them we prevailed. RSC 2019-000337 and RSC 2023-000823, which is a small claims court case against Robert or Natalie Naring and their attorney Patrick Ramey Millsap. Okay, we prevailed on that one. This is RSC 2019-000337. That was Mr. Belfort's case where he prevailed in that case, but the attorneys and the courts made the representation that Wilcox Ranch had the right to do these things, to enforce this stuff. And then we go to this case, and then the people that were enforcing it decided that, after we started saying that they were embezzling the money, all of a sudden it doesn't exist. Okay, this is a first attempt for disclosure. Okay, and there's a reason that why he's doing this is because we'll show you in here, but Washoe County is corrupt at every level. And the Mary Canderas, the district attorney, supposedly the highest level law enforcement in Washoe County, they're refusing to do anything about it after noticing them all about it. Not even a phone call. Okay? What's going on in this Washoe County, man? They're corrupt. I can't even believe it. This needs to be looked into. We need to send this up to the Trump administration and let them know. Let Doge know. Elon Musk. Washoe County is receiving federal funding and then they're violating rights, Fifth Amendment rights, all kinds of rights. They're violating while they're receiving federal funding, violating constitutional rights. If there are any fees for searching or copying, receiving these records, please inform me. The cost will exceed $25. Let's see, where is this here? However, I'd like to request a waiver of all the fees and that the disclosure of the requested information is of public interest and will contribute significantly to the public members private of Wilcox Ranch Properties Owner Association, licensed under the Secretary of State, Nevada, as there are published claims of multiple type frauds, conspiracy to conceal and damage private property, title rights regarding said association and its members, co-actors, adverse parties, lien claimants, attorneys, Washoe County, et al. Now, if you go to the Secretary of State website, there's actual file. I filed 2 claims on there. One's a criminal claim, and there's another one where I initially, when I uncovered the fraud, we have the file stamps. Okay, Secretary of State's a postmaster. We have the stamps. Proof of claim to be entered in court evidence. You can take a look at yourself. It's there. If access to the records I am requesting would take longer than a reasonable amount of time, please contact me with information about when I might expect copies or the ability to inspect the requested records. We witnesses believe having first-hand knowledge that Wilcox Ranch Property Owner Association and former officers, trustees, members, attorneys, or now adverse are were involved in a type of racketeering or home equity type scheme, financial embezzlements, HOA, POA, scams, and fraudulent state filings under notary seal, involving Washoe County and its employees managed by its attorneys. Time is of the essence since of threats and financial damages are continuing. Intimidation, selective enforcements, extortion, blocking of commerce, occurrences, trespasses, harassments, menacing, slanders, title damages, vehicle access, denials, property damage, intentional rock and debris placement, and denials of emergency service access by several adverse parties, co-actors, by their continued acts, occurrences, and by their refusal to settle or quiet claims of the property owner's title rights, thereby clouding, leaning my title and other titles concerning private property and rights. If you deny any or all of this request, please cite each specific exemption you feel justifies the refusal to release the information and notify me of the appeal procedures available to me under the law regarding Judge David A. Hardy, quote, judicial benefits concerning this matter. Thank you in advance for my request, and please retain this document contract notice for the ongoing investigation, joiners, and for the employee file jackets, duties, witnesses. Attachment 1, example of an obtained request, Judge Pierre Hash shall benefits paid by county for the clarification of my request example, same request. So I actually did this one, and they gave it to me after a couple things. I'm curious if they're going to give it to me now, because they know. Take judicial notice, no trespassing, District Attorney, Washoe County. The reason for that is now apparently when I do these FOIAs, the last 4 or 5 of them, myself, even Belfort has done some, and it's now you see where they're sending it to the district attorney. So they're trying to clean the corruption up. They don't want us to see it. Now they're denying everything. I have four denials myself, and they're all legit. We're doing an investigation against Washoe County before we file suit, and now they're trying to block it intentionally. So I'm noticing the district attorney right now, and I'm going to publish this. No trespass. This is none of your business here. Okay, I have a right to see where my tax dollars are going. All rights reserved, waive none. Jonathan Belfort, whistleblower, quiet title claimant, and we'll get to the quiet title claim suits. We're working on our investigation, and we have 66 exhibits to testify to and publish first. We're going to exhaust all our remedies and procedures. Okay, we're give full notice to everybody before we do it. Breach of trust reference claim numbers as follows. Okay, these are all the ones we've been doing. It used to be half that size, and they just keep violating rights. Okay, let's see down here. What's got attachment 1? Okay, here's what I got from Judge Haschef. Okay, all this money being paid here, and this is what I'm looking for again. I want to see it on this other judge that Mr. Belfort's going before. Okay, because I'm going to show you why. This is Pierre Haschef. So you come down here. Okay, this was delivered. This was delivered 24th today. Now, on February 6, 2024, Mr. Belfort filed a motion notice to reopen, lawful direction for this motion notice to reopen this case due to newfound realized evidence being overwhelmingly and outrageous acts of frauds and gross misrepresentations, concealments brought upon this court and against my title concerning these testimonies and representations by the defendants, attorneys, insurance companies, former officers, directors of Wilcox Ranch Property Owners Association, justification exhibits 1 through 33. He's going to testify and publish all these 1 through 33s as partial due to size of realized evidence. Fraud vitiates all. Okay, so he did this. This case, it was to reopen it because he didn't know all this stuff was going on when these attorneys made the representations. He did prevail, but they made so many false representations. And how he found that out when we got the books and records. It was all in there. So he realized that they committed fraud, so we want to open the case back up for fraud upon the court. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay, so they denied it. Okay, not too long after that, they denied it. Order request denied. Okay. Then they made this stuff here does not have jurisdiction. You have jurisdiction. That's false. He has jurisdiction over that case that Mr. Belfort was in, and they committed fraud, and Mr. Belfort has notarized documents filed in this court that proves otherwise. It's the only facts in the record, and he's trying to say I don't have jurisdiction in Title because they know. Okay, there's several attorneys from both sides. State Farm hired attorneys and to go against Mr. Belfort. Now State Farm, after we give them all this stuff, now they're trying to refuse insurance coverage. When they presented attorneys that made representations that the association exists, and they voted a perpetuity in there, and that's all part of it. So this is what I'm saying. The reason that we're checking if these people are paid, we think bribery is going on. Okay? These judges are protecting Washoe County. That's why. So you can't get any fair ruling. That's why this has to go to federal court. Because of we're documenting the mass amounts of violation of rights over and over. Not once, over and over, every time. There's perjury of oath going on here. Okay, so you go down here, and here's the bond, so we got a $5 million, Mr. Belfort and myself have a $5 million claim against Washoe County, March 5th, 2025. So now, if we go into these courts and we keep getting this unfair treatment, okay, it's got to be because of the bribery. They're protecting the county, they're protecting the attorneys, there's an unfair advantage, unfair business practices, deceptive practices.